People tuning in from the US. Hi Scott. We've got a great subscriber base from all over the world, so loud and clear. Someone's saying, what are we going to do? So as always guys, you guys know that my long-term view remains very bullish, and this is just another speed bump along the way. And depending on how much you understand about cryptocurrency, the more likely you are to panic and sell when you read these headlines. So let's have a look at what's been happening. So from a technical chart, every time we start stair-stepping higher, every time I thought we were going to break out, we seem to get another round of bad news. And technically we're getting stronger, but there seems to be this fundamental, whether or not you want to put your conspiracy theory hat on and say, are these things being coordinated? But this Tether Subpoena and Facebook banning crypto ads on the same day. And we said yesterday that there's one more long-term support line here if we do break down out of here, and sure enough we broke down here and just about got that touch there. So that's just the technicals before we get into the news. So this is what I'm looking at here, and this is my last really long-term support line that we've had in place for months and months, guys, here. So, personally, if we break this, we get that flush to 8,000, I think. Wow, that is an absolute gift, guys. I will be buying so much of my favorites if we see all these coins probably have a knee-jerk reaction. So if Bitcoin was to drop, let's say 20% in a worst case scenario, I think some of these altcoins would drop 30, 40, 50%. And again, that is just going to be the buying opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion. That's what I will be doing personally. So we've got 230 odd tuning in now, guys. Good to see. I might take some questions at the end, but for now I want to run through what has happened. So this is a tweet that came out from Nathaniel Popper. I've confirmed that the CFTC, so the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission in the US, did subpoena Bitfinex. So subpoena is just, you may have to go to court. They want to bring to light the whole situation about what the Tether reserves are and if they have these US dollars backing them, and we'll dive into this a little bit more as we move through it. But the important thing here is that subpoena was delivered on the 6th of December, so it's the 31st of January here in Australia. This is nearly 2 months ago, guys, not last week. So it's not a fresh round of panic, but as always, we know the markets, these crypto markets, are in their infancy. They have these tantrums, they have these knee-jerk reactions. So a source familiar to the matter, and again, I think this is all pretty genuine. I don't think that this is FUD or anything like that itself. I think all the headlines that have come thereafter. So first thing to keep in mind is that Tether has exploded in the number of Tethers printed this year as crypto has exploded, but $2 billion in the scheme of a $500 billion market cap is 0.4%, thereabouts off the top of my head, guys. So I know it's going to create some headlines, even in a worst case scenario, 0.4% of the total crypto market cap, guys. We know that there's more and more stable coins coming out. The one that I think is going to be huge is Make or Die. But we've seen other Tether alternatives, and we've heard talk of, an Aussie dollar Tether. Yesterday, Cryptopia and New Zealand is stopping their New Zealand Tether as well. So for everyone that stops and country that bans, there's going to be a friendly country that has other options, and for people to get onboarded and into the crypto space. So once you're in there, we can all buy and sell our favorite coins, trade amongst each other with all these atomic swaps and whatnot that's coming. So, just because the fiat to crypto gateway is becoming a bit harder in some countries, it does not mean it's the end of cryptocurrency by a long, long way, guys. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Again, guys, if you've just tuned in, please hit that like button. Please share this around. Let's dive into the headlines as they came out here. So this is the top story on cryptocurrency Reddit here. And here's the headlines that have come out. So the Bloomberg article, depending on what news outlet you get your information from, there's going to be different keywords, crashes and whatnot. So there's a lot of different articles here. I'm going to run through a couple of them, and top comment here, every time we finally seem to be getting out of this bear run, and then BitGrail stopping trading and accounts for non Eurozone customers, I believe, as well as Bitfinex today. Hold my beer. So now this is a really important thing, and if you've been paying attention, I want to explain what this is basically. So Chris Ellis here worked at Bitfinex. And for those of you that don't know what a warrant canary is, these are people that think they may be endangered. So it's actually illegal for you to say that you've been subpoenaed, okay? So the way to get around that is almost, think of it as a double negative, or rather than you can't say something, but you can take something away. So this is what, if you have a canary here in your status or in your little blurb on social media, and then you take it away. So this is on the 4th of December, and then the headlines coming out about this subpoena happening on the 6th of December. So we see here, 11 days later, the canaries are gone. So that warrant canary, when someone takes it away, that's kind of the hidden secret message that, hey, I've been subpoenaed, but you can't say that publicly. So this is the way for people to get that message out there. So method of communicating from these secret government agencies that you've been subpoenaed. So that's the first thing to pay attention to here, that I think that this is all pretty starting to make sense that it did happen a couple of months ago. Here's the CoinDesk article. You know, what they're saying here is going to likely further inflame this whole controversy. I did a video about Tether a few months ago, and I said every year I've been in this crypto space, basically for the past few years, there's been something about Tether, about how it's insolvent, or there's always something. I'm honestly of the belief that if they don't have 100% of reserves, they've got 95%. I don't think they're here. I see these headlines about people printing tethers out of thin air, $100 million. Well, if I open an account with Bitfinex, like a lot of the funds and that I advise and speak to, and we want to give money to them, and they have to create $100 million if we give them $100 million. So this whole, they're printing it out of thin air and it's not backed at all, I don't believe that that's the case. So I'm going to be interested to see how this all comes. I know there's been these headlines about the auditors. They've dissolved the relationship with that Friedman auditing firm. I'd like to see what the full story is here and why that happened. But again, I'm of the opinion that even if something isn't functioning the right way, it's not a complete scam. And we know that central banks and fractional reserve lending has 10% of reserves or whatever. So again, even if a worst case scenario and Tether aren't 100% properly managing, I still think it's going to be up there around high 90s or something like that. I don't think that they're going to have revealed that they've only got 5% backing for Tether or anything silly like that. So again, a few of the top tweets, Whale Panda, one of our favorites. Why does the CFC, what do they have to do with Bitfinex? It's not a US company. Tether is not a US company. They obviously disallowed all US customers to even use their platform. And Charlie Shrem, panic sells of Bitcoin are truly stupid. Think about it. If you are holding Tether, the only way out would be to buy crypto with it. So take all that and do with it what you will. So top tweets here, I'll just refresh this. But Eric Voorhees from Shapeshift. The irony, US government subpoenaing a private company about the realness of their reserves. So, hey, we've just mentioned fractional reserve lending, central banks printing money, Fort Knox and the gold reserves not being audited for decades. So, very ironic, as Eric suggests there, that the CFTC, so someone's put 4,000 Bitcoin shorts on. So, again, if people have loaded up to short this, it's already bounced back quite a bit, guys. So that was the spike down there to 9.7, and we're already back up above 10,000 here and starting to recover. So maybe the market's realizing that this is actually a few months old, and those shorts will have to cover, as I spoke about in a video the other day. So the second part of all this is Facebook banning ads for Bitcoin. So we want people to continue to discover and learn about new products and services through Facebook ads without the fear of scams and deception. So at the moment, guys, I'm sure you've noticed, especially if you're into crypto, every single ad is an ICO at the moment. So we see lots of these binary options, so options markets guys, as well as ICOs and crypto ads that aren't really operating in good faith. So yeah, I kind of see where they're coming from. People's feeds are just getting clogged with this garbage, a lot of which can be scams or bad ICOs. So I kind of understand the argument, but again, I'm all for freedom of speech. You guys know that Facebook recently banned my accounts for posting that article about medical research. I won't name those names for fear of getting banned again, and YouTube demonetizing my videos. So let's see what this leads to now. But I did scroll through my feed this morning. There was still ads there. So for those of you that have still here watching this, what have we got? 300 are watching now. I want to finish off on a little bit of good news. So is Goldman Sachs planning a cryptocurrency trading desk using one of my favorites, 0x, the protocol for decentralized exchanges? So we know Goldman Sachs is planning a crypto trading desk. There's an article here. Now, something interesting I've noticed. This is a great post here from Coalition. That the Ocean X is powered by 0x, has an interesting team. So click on that if you want more information. If you look at the third person, we might open this up here. John Piotrowski and his LinkedIn page, you'll notice that he's currently Vice President of Goldman Sachs Finance Division, Capital Analysis. So let's just check him out there. John Piotrowski. It also shows him doing business development for the Ocean X over the past couple of months. Yeah, sure, going from VP at Goldman Sachs to biz dev guy, from some startup maintaining current status. Both positions sounds like a totally neutral move. Bloomberg article says Goldman is assembling a team in New York. OceanX is now looking for a community director in New York. Coincidence? I wonder who else in the 0x ecosystem has ties to Goldman. The co-founder of Coinbase, Fred Ersham. So he now advises 0x previously with Goldman Sachs. So a lot of connections being made now. We know Goldman Sachs uses the Settle Coin patent. Maybe they want to use 0x to connect that with other assets. Another thing on the OceanX homepage, our mission is to build the world's largest, deepest, and best supported token liquidity pool. Liquidity pool being the key word. Goldman Sachs liquidity pool called Sigma X. Any coincidence? Ocean rebranded to Ocean X, so with the 0x sort of fit to it as well. So funny side note, Sigma X platform executes orders on MPBO, nickname Ocean. So guys, there's a few connections, a few dots to join there. You guys know that I believe the 0x protocol is awesome. It's going to be huge. If we have someone as big as Goldman using it, just think about the intrinsic value. We know that in the future, all fees have to be paid in 0x, just like we pay Ethereum fees in Ethereum and Bitcoin fees in Bitcoin. So if we've got multiple billion-dollar trading platforms using 0x, guys, this is going to be absolutely massive. So that's just going to leave you guys on a good note there. The markets are having another little turn here. Whether or not this is just forming a higher low and we start a stair step higher, or we break these lows here and revisit it. Again, I think this is all a bit of panic. Subpoenas take weeks or months to play out. It's already been 2 months and we haven't obviously heard anything else. So guys, I think the market was needing one more flush lower just to shake out the last of the weak hands. You guys know that I know for a fact that big money from investment funds is layering into crypto at these levels and licking their lips that they get to buy some of these coins so cheap. I think there's a huge wave of money about to enter and currently entering. It's going to drive prices higher once sentiment recovers, and we've had so much bad news thrown at the market. How much more can we possibly take? Okay, now, to be honest, think about how much bad news has been thrown at the market, and the fact is we're still above 10,000. So if we take a really long-term view, it seems like a long time ago, but it was only December when we even got to 10,000. So, you know, if people were very happy here, I saw a meme this morning. Everyone was so happy that Bitcoin had got to $10,000. You know, what a run from, you know, $4,000 a few months earlier. Yet here we are at 10,000. Everyone's, you know, asking, is this the end? So it's very different. The same price, how different sentiment can be comparing on where you've come from and the news that's currently in the environment. So that's probably it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll keep you up to date if there's any other updates, but as usual, a lot of panic, a lot of FUD. If you've been smart with your investing and dollar cost averaging, this presents another buying opportunity. So please hit like, share this video around, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Cheers.